Hello and welcome into the Section 109 podcast from Studio Breezy. I'm Breezy. That's Baba Juan. This is Mix. That's Matthew. And we're wearing silly hats because last night was a very silly game.
Yeah, silly hat game for sure.
It was definitely. Matthew, give me your quick rundown on how you're feeling now that we've had about 12 hours to digest last night's 1-1 draw with Apotheos FC. It's called Fouling FC.
I thought that was Atlanta SC Pros.
Kind of seemed like the Atlanta Silverbacks a little bit. Who else? How many iterations of that same team? Who else? We're missing one?
Atlanta FC.
Oh, yeah, Atlanta FC. Yeah, the 4 iterations of the exact same team. It's the same, like, the players change and the coaches kind of remain the same but also change. But, like, the club DNA, their way of playing, the dirty play, the ridiculous fouls, some good players also, like...
Yeah.
All carry over to take.
You get to go with the bad with that group.
You cannot kill what will never die, or whatever the right term is. So Matthew, let's take us through our starting lineup. We are going to blow through this one because we are actually recording another podcast right after this. Spoiler alert. So I don't have show notes in front of me. Let's talk through the starting lineup.
I can do it from memory.
Do it.
So you've got Jonathan Burke in goal.
Hey, welcome, Johnny.
Jung Musso at right back. Anatoly Prepelica next to Sebastian Capizzucci. Colin Stripling playing left back.
Stop right here. Aiden Bowers, saw him in a boot. How you feeling?
I'd feel better if he wasn't in a boot, but I saw him afterwards. He said it's precautionary.
I think about 10 people must have asked him, what is going on?
Yeah.
Including Bill Hammetry. Shout out Bill Hammetry. You're the man who called me from inside the stadium because pregame we were all talking about it because we had heard that he was hurt. That he wasn't playing, rather. And then he called me and he's like, Aiden's in a boot. And I was like... And then it turned out he said he's okay. And then I talked to him after the game. You talked to him after the game, and he said this is precautionary. It is actually normal. This happens to me. I have a recurring foot issue. It's okay. I just need to stay off of it. This boot keeps me off of it, and we'll wait for the inflammation to come down. And I'll be all right.
Yeah. Richard Dixon at the 6, Alex McGrath and Luis Garcia Sosa in midfield. Mattia Mwape, Jesus Ibarra on the wings, Marcus Nicholas up top.
So pretty strong lineup.
Yeah. I wasn't sure going in how we were going to handle things, if we were going to fully rotate, play a bunch of kids, get mollywopped.
Yeah, because last game, if folks don't remember, and I wasn't there, I think I was in Vegas for that one. But it was a Thursday night, and we went down there. It was a home and away series, and we played them, and it finished 3-2 them. But it's at halftime down there. It was 2-0 us. And
1-0. The second goal that we scored was just on the other side of half.
Got it. My bad. So 1-0 halftime. It goes up 2-0 us. We make a bunch of subs. We bring in literally 6 children up from the academy and guest players, and then they score 3 goals in the second half. So last game,
down a man. By the way, they scored 3 goals while down a man.
Oh, they got a red card in that game too.
Yes.
Never change Atlanta semi-pro teams. So you look at that and you're like, okay, well they're going to be decent. And they came in, they were runners up in the NPSL.
Yeah.
They got to the finals. They were a very good team. They remind me of the NPSL teams we used to play when we were in the NPSL with Bill as head coach.
Some really good amateur players. Some ex-pros / pros in between contracts. It's a decent group
and a lot of foreign players.
Oh yeah.
So it's different. Which
is no shot. That's just
no.
That's
exactly. But we've complained on this podcast a lot, and if you've missed it, you can't have foreign players in NISA who are on visas to play soccer, right? Because NISA can't get them because NISA's a shit show. So that means that in the NPSL you could have basically unlimited amount of foreign guys,
which we did.
We used to have, when we would have 24 players, we'd have 20 foreign guys or 21 foreign guys. This is no judgment here. This is only to say actually the quality of some of those players is pretty high.
Yeah.
I'm not saying higher than our players, but now that we've gone pro, but in the amateur days, this was the kind of team we played a lot.
You could argue that and I'm just going to use back-to-back years as an example here. You could argue our 2019 team was more talented than our 2020 team.
Yes.
In large part because of the amount of foreign players that we had.
Correct.
It's just a feature of the whole thing.
And look, we tried to sign 7 of those players or 6 of those players, and we got visas denied. So that was the beginning of the Nisa saga. So anyway, take me through some of the substitutes. You don't have to have minutes, but some of the guys that came in later on in the game.
Yeah. So let's go back to front. Towards the very, very end, Fabian Rodriguez gets a 4-minute plus stoppage time run out.
And there was about 12 minutes of stoppage time, even though there were only 6 on the board they held up.
what was the other one? Marcus got
Lenny
subbed
came
out for Lenny in about
Be
the
honest with you,
67th minute. I was really, number one, I was glad Marcus scored. And just like, it's always, whenever he plays, he wants the ball in the back of the net. It was really nice to get one on, I'm sure, what was kind of a frustrating game for him.
You don't think he likes getting kicked all game and elbowed in the face?
Yeah, it's just, well, we'll come back to that. And the only other substitution is when Colin went down injured, which absolutely frightening. We hope he's okay. We have no information at this time.
I am not feeling good about it.
Neither am I. But that was a substitution made, and it was one of the guest players, Darwin Ortiz, came in for 32 minutes.
Yeah.
And an interesting thing actually happened here. So we were playing the customary 4-3-3 that we always play.
Mm-hmm.
Left back gets subbed out. Darwin Ortiz gets subbed in.
That's left back Colin Stripling.
And Darwin goes into the kind of midfield area. Kind of center midfield, just somewhere in there. Breezy, we didn't change the formation.
Yeah, no one played left back.
It was like the very
It was just Sebastian
definition.
Capajut. It was just Sebastian, and then whatever player was anywhere near was the definition of positional football.
It was the definition of positional play. Like sometimes Sebastian just kind of like floats over, and they kind of build from a back three a little bit more. It was very classic of like 2022's CFC, where like Travis Ward like might be gone. Whether he's combining inside or outside, like he's just gone.
Mm-hmm.
And Tate Robertson would kind of just sit back a little bit more and build up. So there was always kind of three prepared to be there. But like sometimes Capo would be over. Sometimes Jesus would be back as kind of a wing back. I thought we were going to a back three for a while there, but it was very clearly no. We did go to a back three. We just put a player in.
It wasn't the normal kind of back three you'd be accustomed to. It was just three players that happened to be playing in the back and no left back. It was wild.
It was wild.
There's two,
but like it just didn't matter.
There's two big moments in this game. Let's talk about them. First, let's talk about the missed red card.
Yeah, that changed the game there.
So about 10 minutes in, there's a ball in the air coming over the top, and that's my recollection, right? It's a ball over the top.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of a scuffle. Nothing crazy, just like some contact coming together. And then Marcus is out in front of the play. Looks like he might be offside. I'm not saying he was, but that's kind of where the position is. And the center back just forearm checks him like he was a hockey player right in the face. I mean, just throws an elbow/forearm right into Marcus's face, lays Marcus out. Marcus is on the ground for a little while, and the referee's in, I think, pretty good position to make the call. He's not that far away, or at least I don't think he was like too far away to be able to see it. And despite his protestations, Marcus gets the foul in the face, goes down, stays down for a minute, and the referee comes immediately running in. You know how referees, they calm down a situation by giving the card, right? They don't wait, because a lot of times if you give the card immediately, if it's a red, if it's a yellow, whatever it is, a lot of times that calms everybody down because like there's been justice served, right? So he comes running in to serve justice very quickly, like a good referee does. Like they come running into the fray, and then he gives a yellow card for what is clearly a shot to the face, malicious,
It is the definition of a red card situation, and
the referee was too chicken shit to make the call. And
it's also one of those things where no referee in a friendly in the 10th minute wants to give a red card. They don't want to give red cards in friendlies, period.
I'll go one step further. It's not even about the friendly. It's about referees being too chicken to make the call.
Well, yeah.
In general.
I mean, like, if you're...
Even in a league game, honestly, I don't think that gets called.
If you're an assigner, if you're a referee assigner, and you're supervising this match, and, like, you're going to give a grade, which they do for friendlies and stuff like that, you're going to see that moment and be like, that guy's not ready. Like,
referee.
Yeah, correct. You have to be able to... Like, you know what's going on here. Like it isn't... Like, referees prepare a little bit for games. Like, you know what's going on here. You have to be willing to make that call, because it just not giving a red, and yes, the player ended up getting a second yellow card in the first half,
which
got sent off.
Which is why we're not freaking out, right? We're annoyed but not freaking out.
Not giving cards when you need to, and the right color cards when you need to, sets up the rest of the game. Like, it was... I mean, it's no secret. Like, this isn't a league game. We don't necessarily want to be playing this game. We're doing it to fill a home date because Nisa's too inept to, put a schedule together that has enough games. So we don't necessarily want to be here in the first place. We need to play the game. Guys need minutes. They need to kind of establish a rhythm and play together a little bit more because we're heading down the home stretch. But we also need to not get hurt. We also need to not get punched in the face.
Do you think...
It was disgraceful.
Looking back on these two games, Apotheos away and Apotheos at home, do you think, with hindsight, not saying anybody had any wrong choices to begin with, because we'd never played this team before, do you think if you could go back, you would switch this team out for a different team?
Absolutely. I never want to see them again.
Yeah, I agree. It's too big a risk to play a team that is going to be overly physical. Now, I will also give the devil's advocate argument, which is iron sharpens iron, and you want to play teams that are tough.
This isn't iron, though. This isn't about sharpening your football skills.
No, but this was a team that's better than half the NISA teams.
That's true, but like there were no stakes here. There's no consequences for getting a red card. There's no consequences for deliberately injuring an opponent. There's no consequences for any of this.
By the way, you have a sweet bucket hat on. The center back who got the red card could have used that bucket hat to cover his ridiculous hairline. And I know people in glass houses, myself, shouldn't throw stones, but good Lord, that dude had lost all of his hair already.
Yeah, I would not play this team again. I certainly wouldn't play a home and away with them. I would have switched them out for literally a road cone.
So I wouldn't have switched them out for a road cone, but I would hope in the future we pick a team that's going to play a little bit better. Like we played Knoxville and we played them this season. We've played two teams that are remarkably thuggish in how they play. Both of those teams were kicking players, beating up players, like just being absolute, like not soccer players, just like half MMA fights. And that is a way to get hurt in the preseason and in the end. Like I do think the iron sharpens iron is a part of it, right? They want tougher games, but I don't think this is the kind of games they should want. And I'm not saying they do want those, but like this is not the kind of game that we want, that I don't think the coaching staff would want. And I hope in the future we will choose games in the preseason and in the regular season that maybe come from a little bit more of a mature and classy group of, I mean, if anybody's missed it, like their players were talking shit to us during the game. Their players were, talking shit to other fans.
It's just not professional.
It's not professional. And we need to be playing, not that part actually matters that much, but we need to be playing teams that understand that we also have jobs and that our players have to be able to play.
I'm going to go one step further on you here. And I realize this is going to almost be a 180 on a little bit of like CFC history and what we try to do as a club. I never want to play another amateur team in a friendly in the middle of the regular season. I'm done.
Oh, I'm not.
I'm done with it.
I'm not. But I think you just got to pick a little more carefully.
There's a reason why pro teams hate playing amateur teams. There's a reason why MLS teams hate playing USL teams in the Open Cup. The difference in level in the middle of your regular season is a recipe for getting players hurt. And I think, we're only doing this because NISA just puts breaks in a schedule because it doesn't compress 24 games into 24 weeks.
Yep.
It compresses or expands 24 games into about 34 weeks. I don't think if we're in a normal, actual, real league, there is time to play these games. And like, I hope we play amateur teams in preseason. And I don't give a shit if they mainly have college players and can't get a team together in February. That's not my fucking problem. I don't care. But like, these games should only be preseason games from here on out because the risks are just not worth it.
So I get where you're coming from. I disagree a little bit. I just think you have to be a little more choosy about who you play. And I realize that's hard because there's not a lot of people that can get together a team. Like there's some credit to be given to Apotheos to be able to get a team together at this point. And like, you look at us playing Metro Louisville last year, right? It's who can get a team together.
By the way, we played Metro Louisville because a team in NISA folded and we already had the date on the calendar.
Oh, I'm not taking don't take this as me defending NISA. NISA's a shit show. What I'm saying is I would like to see us continue to have a friendly at least once a year in the regular season, assuming there's a break of any kind against amateur teams. What I would like us to see is to play an amateur team that isn't going to be this chippy, this physical, and this much injury risk. All right, let's jump into the goal, and then let's wrap this bad boy up. I didn't prepare 3 things. I don't know that you prepared 3 things. I think we'll count the last thing as your main takeaway. Take us through the goal, because I know you were really excited about this.
Yeah, this is a really good sequence right off of the coming out of halftime. Ball comes in. I forget if it's in the air or on the ground. It's probably on the ground, knowing us.
I haven't rewatched it, by the way. So this is me reliving it with you live.
I've seen one angle. And ball comes into Jesus Ibarra, right? Because no, it comes into Colin Stripling, who's pushed up on the left wing from his left back position. He plays a ball inside to Jesus Ibarra, and they play like just a little quick 1-2, and Colin immediately just like sends it into Marcus, who takes one touch out of his feet and then hits it immediately from there through defender's legs. Keeper had taken a step over. Keeper's not very tall also. Takes a step over, and then by the time he's diving for the shot, he can't quite get there in time. I thought it was a really, really clean, quick movements, kind of a classic CFC as it's supposed to be goal.
Mm-hmm. Bill Elliott said something to me after last game. He said one of the things that was off the other night when we tied 1-1, not 1-1, 0-0, with Flower City, he said one of the things that he felt was a little bit off was our timing.
Yeah.
And he said like we were a little slow on our on kind of our build-up, like it was kind of predictable.
Yeah.
And he said like you can be slow, but sometimes you got to go bing, bing, bing with a couple one-touch passes in a row and change the tempo of the build-up to get space. And I think this was a kind of like this is that exact thing.
It was really quick, like good first touches, clean, crisp passes, and several in a row, and it was just enough to allow Marcus a little bit more time to be able to settle that ball and take a shot. It was just some nice quality and sharpness from those 3 players in particular that, you know, I think we lacked a little bit in the Flower City game, and for one moment getting, you know, 1 goal out of there, it was really nice.
Well, I love it. I'm glad we got a goal. I'm glad it didn't finish 1-0. Obviously, I would have liked to win, and what I really would have liked to get out of this game without any injuries. But here we are. The boys now have about a week and a half to heal up. I honestly don't expect to see Colin back for a couple weeks, just based on him coming off and how gingerly he was walking. But here's the thing: T's and P's to Colin. If it's not broken, and I know he's going in for X-rays today. If it's not broken, you know, all that matters is him coming back before the end of the season. We need him back, but we genuinely don't.
We don't need to rush him.
Right. Ale Jaimez, I saw him. He's getting close to being back. Ethan Corrin, we've talked about, is getting close to being back. Taylor should be back around playoff time.
Yeah, he's got a ways still.
And look, we don't know what any of those players are going to come back as. But what we do know is that we've done our thing in the regular season. We need to close it out. But like we've done what we need to do. We're still undefeated. We picked up all these points. Now we got to get healthy, play well, and make sure we're hot going into the playoffs. So we're playing kind of a different game this little home stretch. We got to keep getting points and whatever else, but it's less about results and more about staying healthy, playing well. And you know that starts at LA Force on the 3rd. So I will be gone for that game. I will miss you guys. I'll be at a wedding. But I will see some of you in California.
We'll see you in California. I want to do 3 things here.
Go.
And number 1 for me is going to be some good rotation minutes from Capizzucci and from Jonathan Burke and Jung Woo So. So looks like Jung Woo obviously playing 90 minutes in that game. I think, you know, if Colin is out for a little while, we're going to see a lot more of him these next couple weeks. Mm-hmm. Just like we saw him at the beginning of the regular season. And he honestly, he's played well basically every meaningful minute he's played for CFC. He's played well. I think we're going to see a lot more of him. And depth is always, you know, critically important.
And was always going to be a part of this.
I thought Burke played well. He didn't see a lot of action. There's nothing he could do on the goal that Apotheos scored.
Yeah, he's 1-on-1.
He was good with his feet. He was good when they pressed.
That's my goalkeeper coach.
And you know, and God forbid anything happened to Jean. Like we're gonna, you know, you need that backup goalkeeper ready to go. And,
absolutely.
So I think he counted himself well, and I thought Capo did a good job as well.
I'll point out you want a guy like Capo when a game turns into a knife fight.
Yeah,
he's calm. He doesn't lose his head, but he doesn't take any shit. Like he's just got the perfect balance of like taking care of business. And honestly, here's another thing. Prepelica has really grown throughout this season emotionally.
Yeah, you could have easily gotten like 16 yellows in that game if you really wanted to.
I don't even think he got one at all.
He didn't. I don't think.
If this game happens 3 games into our season, he gets a red card. And I realize this is a guy that hasn't got a red card, but like he was kind of short fused early on this season. And in this game, like even with all the physical play and all the dumb shit, he kept his cool, did his thing, and I was very happy with how we handled this physical play. We handled it like a mature team.
Yeah. I think. Yeah.
We handled like a mature team.
Yeah, and that's really good. And like, and I think Rod said it afterwards. Like, the result doesn't matter in this. It's about just getting guys minutes and keeping them sharp and whatnot. And that's ultimately where we were. I guess my second point is, I guess I only have 2 points.
Cool.
It's the rotation matters and it's going to be important down the stretch. And the second point is like I'm done with amateur teams in the earlier season. I'm done. I never want to see it again. By the way, that includes half of NISA. So
3/4 of NISA.
Like I'm just done with it. I never want to see it again. It's if they're gonna be respectable and normal and take things seriously and play hard, but like
not try to hurt anybody.
But like not try to hurt anybody. Then like cool, that's fine. But we're beneath this shit.
You mean we're above this shit?
We are above this shit. We were steeped in it last night. Yeah, we're above this. It's just not acceptable, and now it's becoming a liability, and I'm done.
I get it. I respectfully disagree, but I do get where you're coming from. Ladies and germs, thank you for listening. We will catch up with you soon. Leave us a comment. Throw a like on this video if you wouldn't mind. It would make me happy. And
some business before we actually sign off. We've got a fun interview coming for you here in a few days that I think you guys are going to enjoy a lot. This is probably our last recap podcast for a little bit of time.
You don't think we're going to do one from the pool?
No, I think we're going to do one from the pool in California, but like we'll have to like actually get to California first.
And that one, to be honest with you, might end up being audio only. We'll see how things go. But like the pool recap, I'll see if I can figure out some tech stuff. But that one just may be audio only. The YouTube audience may be shit out of luck for some of those. If we do it like we normally do it with a single cell phone, and
it probably won't be. I might bring that microphone that I use like when we're on the road sometimes for.
Do you bring like those? You might have brought that last time.
I don't think I.
Anyway,
I don't remember.
We'll
but it'll probably if we do one from the pool in California, it'll be both LA Force games, and then we'll do
San Diego.
We'll do about San Diego when we get back.
Thanks everybody for listening. Throw a like and a comment if you liked the show. And I mean, we always love the questions, so the comments on the videos are fun. Catch everybody soon. Peace.